people of Fresno, and you didn't have a right to do that. Thank you.
Followed by Cade Acuna.
Parents, staff, friends, and Fresno Unified Board members. Good evening, my name is Eleanor Dote, and Mr. Ashtian, I wholeheartedly agree with your point on free speech. I support your right to have your own opinion. That being said, there seems to be a lack of understanding that as an elected official, whenever you speak publicly or to the media, you are doing so as a representative of the school board. Sure, we have the freedoms afforded to us by the Constitution, but I was taught at a young age that with great freedom comes great responsibility. So as you look around the community who have come to share their feelings about the comments that were made, it's worth asking the question, who is going to bear the responsibility for the environment that these comments have created within the district? What has made it worse is that this incident is not alone. In May of this year, my son graduated from Bullock High School after successfully completing his education as a special ed student in the district. After graduation, my partner and I sat and listened as Mr. Ashtian told the crowd that 40% of special ed students were not born that way, and that the attendance rating of kids in wheelchairs at Rata was 98%. Mr. Ashtian then went on to tell the graduating class that the only place that they ever show up 100% of the time is Snapchat. So I asked, where is the research to back up these claims? So members of the board, if our students were to turn in research papers with claims like these made to prove a point, would they receive a passing grade? If not, then I ask you, what sort of example are we setting for our children if we do not ask the same for those leading the schools? I would like to say that our leadership leads by example, but sadly that does not seem to be the case. Because of this, I feel like I have lost my confidence in Mr. Ashtian's ability to continue to lead our students as president of the Fresno Unified School Board. Thank you.
Thank you. Cade Acuna, followed by Barbara Barstow.
Hello. I did not expect to speak today. I came to listen. I came to hear out my community and what they had to say in response to Ashton's comments in the Fresno Bee. I'm a youth. I've never been to a board meeting before. This is my first time. So here I go. So I'm an FUSD alumni. I went to Hoover High School and I graduated in the class of 2017. I'm the former president of the Hoover GSA, and I am also a member of GSA Network's National Youth Council. I'm also not very good at speaking, so. So inclusive sex ed is something I wish that I had. That's not a luxury that FUSD gave me. That's something that I would have really appreciated as a youth. Students who are LGBT oftentimes don't have access to comprehensive sexual education. So having that in schools not only helps with preventing STDs, but also normalizing what they feel, not even just sexually, romantically. That's all in your heart, not about what's your body parts and who you're doing stuff with. Also, we're at school to learn. We shouldn't feel like we're in an unsafe environment when we're being taught these things. And I know I have a short amount of time about this, but if you're looking out for the best interests of students, you shouldn't be having opinions about what it is we do with our bodies. You should be protecting our rights to have those. That's all I really have to say. Please resign.
Thank you. Chris Fisher, followed by Miguel Blanco. Chris Fisher, followed by Miguel Blanco.
I'll try to make this quick. Alright, so I'm a parent of 6 kids. They were previously homeschooled, they were in a hybrid program, but now they're full-time public school kids now in Fresno, California. So I literally have skin in the game. It's not theory for me. I'm concerned. Sex education is education on sex, not philosophy or preference of sex or gender, how one feels about their genetic sex. Real science should deal with observable particular function, as sex education deals with organs that exist to perform a unique function, which that both organ sets, when healthy, are capable or incomplete to perform, rather, without the opposite sex counterparts. Those unique functions are for reproduction, but they have half the specified components for that task, which is unique to them, and thus their most obvious function. Orgasms alone can be achieved in many ways, but the sex of a person is determined by their chromosomes and organs. That's what kids need to know about as far as education is concerned. Not all ways to potentially have an orgasm or feel sexually thrilled or satisfied. This is not a place for public school, but maybe privately funded through a sex therapist or something, or maybe relative to history, theology maybe, philosophy or science. Let them do that. Those disciplines deal with the realms that include lifestyle and opinion. But function is determined by the maker, and it is clearly observable and scientifically tested. We're all here to, as a result of that successful repeated task. Your opponents can't have it both ways. You say that words can instigate behavior. They say words can instigate behavior, but they say that your words hurt, but their words don't hurt. It's double standard, selective free speech, and that's how fascism actually works. It also has to do with definition of harm, which is an opinion you're both equally entitled to. Personal responsibility is with the individual. 25 years ago, when I was 10 years old, I tried to hang myself. I was in a very dark place and without God in the world. But now I'm married happily for 10 years and have 6 kids. And if it weren't for hard truth being spoken to me, I wouldn't be here right now. I would have taken my life with my own hand. It would not have been my parents' fault, although I was neglected. But that's not on them.
Thank you for coming. Kenneth Mackey, followed by Camille Herrera.
Good evening, Board President Ashton, members of the board, Interim Superintendent Nelson. Now for something completely different. My name is Kenneth R. Mackey. I am of the law firm Canelo, Wallace, Padron, and Mackey, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the original Fresno Watchdogs for Ethical Bidding. 2 weeks ago, I was given a cease and desist letter from a Sacramento attorney representing a corporation by the same name, and telling me to stop using the name under threat of being sued. I have just filed a complaint for injunction for court order preventing the corporation from using the name by which my clients have been known for nearly a year and a half. Moving on to the second item that I listed, I have also filed a third FPPC complaint, which has been passed out to the board. This one regarding allegations of undisclosed real estate, real property, which Mr. Ashton apparently has an interest in during the reporting periods and has not disclosed his interest in these different pieces of real estate totaling about $2 to $3 million. And finally, I am also asking the FPPC to file a civil action against Mr. Ashton for his failures to disclose, his votes against conflict of interest laws, etc. They will have 120 days to respond. If they do not choose to file a civil action against Mr. Ashton, I have been authorized to go ahead and do so. Is there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Camille Herrera. James Mendez, MD. Okay, we're going to move into Board Superintendent Communications.